Mahalo, my friend. Mahalo. Good of you to be here. Dude. Love it. Yeah, it's cold, man. It's cold. I'm wearing my hat. Got my hat on. Wearing my hat, bruh. I bet you ain't wearing a hat. You probably didn't own a hat like this, do you? Oh shoot. See, told myself I wasn't gonna swear tonight and I didn't yet. So wasn't gonna go live. Not feeling great. That's all right. So I am going to go live, which you are witnessing now. The blizzard is not yet here, buddy. There's some white falling. There's some white, but in Michigan, it takes a lot for it to be a blizzard. But it's on its way. It's on its way. The good news is that my snowblower is good and lubed and ready to go. A snowblower is something that throws the snow out of your driveway, Robert, in case you didn't know. That's what we use it for. Yeah. So I didn't put any music on tonight. I don't even think I've been on since, what's the date? 26? Probably the 20th. Maybe the 20th. Wow, has it been 6 days since I've been on? One day you will shovel snow. I hope not while you're in Oahu, my friend. I hope that day never comes. Snow in Oahu, that'd be bad. That'd be bad. What do you think, buddy? You think everybody's asleep? They're like, man, he ain't going on. He ain't going on. So there were some, yeah, it has been a while. Definitely been a while. I guess we'll give it a minute or two. Let's catch up. Bill has been in soul searching mode. The good news is that I've been on the right path, and I like that. I like that I've been on the right path. Been looking inwardly, and I don't even smoke weed. I mean, if I was about Pocololo or whatever you call it, maybe that would have helped things. But no, I've just been doing a lot of introspect and not feeling great. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Globals. So have I found out anything in the search? What search specifically, my friend? Just out of curiosity. So as far as Q drops, I guess it's probably warm enough. I could probably take off my hat now. I turn the heat up a little bit at night. Here in the Midwest, when it's cold out, we usually turn the heat down because we're getting under the covers. Man, I don't even know what that is, dude, but that's got me totally intrigued. A hot tent spirit world thing. Oh yeah, soul search. Yeah. It maybe wasn't so much of a soul search. Just switching up my routine a little bit. Just kind of those one of those things where you're just like you kind of in the day-to-day grind. You get into you get into the things that are very natural and normal to you, and sometimes things kind of pass you by. You don't realize it until you kind of stop for a second into your routine, and then you kind of think it through, and you're like, okay, well, all right, life's been going fine this way, but you've been missing some things. And although I pride's a bad thing, but I do pride myself on trying to be very aware of my surroundings. I had introspect. Yeah, it's been quiet around here, bro. It's been very, very quiet. I so much wasn't feeling great today. It's Sunday. Well, technically Monday, but we canceled Sunday dinner. I kind of laid around in my pajamas all day. Took 2 hot showers, 1 hot bath. So like I am thoroughly cleansed. Just, that hot water hitting you feels great. But did not want to have a house full. Had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you did too. Ate way too much turkey and all the fixins. That was fun. That was nice. Yeah. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Can you hear that outside right now? That's freezing rain hitting the house. Yeah, dude, I was in like a turkey coma for like 2 days. I ate so much. And I've been like trying to watch my diet a little bit, but not like, count calories. No, I'm not doing that. But I let loose on Thanksgiving and just said, powered it in. Hey, Joe Mama. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Too much damn turkey, too much sweet potato pie. I couldn't list everything that we ate. And put it this way, we had Thanksgiving dinner at, I think we ate at about 2 or 2:30, right in there. I didn't even think about having a piece of pie until 11 o'clock that night. I was so turkey comaed. I was done. See, I took my hat off. Now I'm starting to get a little chilly. And it's weird, man. It's cold. I'm putting my hat back on. I'm cold. That only works for a couple minutes. And I've got the thermostat at 73, so whatever. So it's been 6 days. Hang on, I'm gonna cough. Pardon me. So it's been 6 days since I've been on. I would like to try that hot tent, Robert Nozawa. We did. The good news, we got some Q drops tonight. We did. And yeah, I guess I could go over them. I will shortly. I labeled this, it's time. This is our time. I do believe that, as one YouTuber put it numerous times, that the caca is about to hit the proverbial air movement device. I think it's about to go down. Hey, D. The caca is about to hit the air movement device. And I think that's very true. I don't know what it means for us being followers or patriots or this or that. I've been watching a lot of YouTube. I've been watching a lot of different videos. I've been listening to a lot of people that have been calling into different channels and chiming in and putting their 2 cents in and blah, blah, blah. I'm with, XYZ of the secret code of the government, and you folks better get ready for this, and you better get ready for that, and you better be prepared with 6 months of food and 6 months of water, which I don't ever want to tell people not to be prepared that way. I mean, be prepared. Definitely. Definitely. I think it goes without saying that in some way, shape, or form that we are all preppers a little bit. You don't want to be trying to battle people at the grocery store or anything like that. If things go awry. But what I don't like is, see, there's 2 camps. You are either pro MAGA, pro Trump, pro Q, and the message that's been delivered now for over a year, or you are simply not. And if you're not, if you're like, meh, I'm on the fence, I don't know, might be a LARP, then I say that you are a disinformation agent of the people and of where this is all actually going. And when I start to think about that, I get pissed. I don't get upset. I don't let it bother me. I get pissed because you are neglecting evidence that is right there in front of your face. And if you start bringing people in with phone calls and all this kind of stuff, and this is on multiple channels, guys, then you are selling fear porn, point blank period. You're selling it. I'm saying this. If you look at the journey that we've been on since Q has been introduced into our life, and you look at how scared the deep state has been running, and how the mainstream media is throwing up everything they've got in their artillery against the president. If you take all of that into account and try to say that what's actually happening in front of our faces isn't actually happening, and that this is all a big screw job, I could be wrong. Maybe it is. Maybe. There's maybe like a 1% chance that I could be wrong. I would say, what's the purpose of ousting everybody on the planet? Have you seen how the UK is uprising against Brexit and the lack thereof a deal for the Brexit? That's the will of the people. That's not being honored. France riots. Yes, Robert Nozawa, absolutely. Macron's people, they are walking away globally from Western philosophy, but not just Western philosophy, but from deep state Western philosophy. It really is about nationalism. It is about the people of their country should take pride within their country. It's not about white nationalism. It's not about that. The people of the globe have been waiting for a candidate like Trump. We were so brainwashed, and not specifically you or me, because we've been waking up, but they've been waiting for a candidate to come out and to say, we are taking back control of the world for the people. And this movement isn't just about America. This is a global movement. And don't confuse global movement with globalism. This is a whole different kind of global movement. Heads are going to roll. People are going to hang. Regardless of whether people want to accept it or not. This is our destiny. All of us. And it's time. The time is now. There have been markers that have been put into place with the whole Q movement. Markers that have been set. Disinformation is necessary. We've known this for a very long time. Hillary Clinton is crapping her pantsuit. She's getting recalled to the Hill. James Comey is getting called to rehash the testimony. He wants to do it on open forum. They're not going to let him. This whole plan has been played perfectly by the White Hats and the Q team. And if people don't see it, if people want to make videos and say, you better prepare for this and that and this and that, then they are not looking at the forest through the trees, or they're encouraged to not see that kind of forest through the trees, or they're dumb. There's really those three options. Because when you step away and look at everything and take it in for what it is, I don't know how you could even remotely draw a conclusion that doesn't lead you to these people are going down. They are going down. And they are going to kick and scream and fight. And I don't know. I don't know really what to say. I'm a simpleton. I am a simple kind of man. I don't buy into big theatrics and am I tired? Yes. Am I tired of the disinformation is necessary? Yes, it's wearing me out. It is. But do I still trust the plan? Fuck yeah. Yes. I do. These people steering this country right now under President Trump are smarter than I will be in 5 reincarnations from now in my life. They will be smarter than me today. And that doesn't make me dumb, but I am aware. Listen, in my humble opinion, people that are in the military don't pick up a phone call when they're under direct orders not to release information. They don't pick it up and say, well, I've kicked around the idea and I really didn't know if I should call you or not. And I didn't know if this and that and this and that. Fuck that. That doesn't happen. There is no room for margin of error for something like that to happen under this plan. It's disinformation. And you cannot buy into that shit. I'm dead. Wanted to drop the F-bomb. I'm dead serious. You cannot buy into that. This plan is so well calculated and laid out that there's no way you get a sneaky little sergeant or a staff sergeant to pick up a phone and start releasing information about alien invasions. And this is on multiple channels, you guys. Do I say don't be prepared? No, be prepared. Store up food and water. Yes, absolutely. But do it for the right reason. The right reason would be that the deep state is they're cornered and they still hold some pockets of influence and power. Things that are not yet able to be touched by the white hats. That would be the circle of influence that we should worry about. And would that be social media? Sure. Could they take it out? Yes, probably. But if you look at every truth that has been shown to us by Q over the last year. They have shut down all of the human trafficking international trading lanes. They have cut all the money off to the Clinton Foundation. They have cut everybody's knees off that is up to their neck in this bullshit swamp. And the world is taking notice, you guys. They see it. They've all known this is happening well before any of us Americans have. Why? We're products of our environment. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, and even Fox News before they managed to get a few of their people to start reporting correctly, because they can't. Even Fox is completely part of the deep state. But in order to control the narrative, they can't just go all in and say we're against Trump right there with CNN. But if you look, when they say that, we stand with CNN, with Acosta getting his press credentials and all that, you see that they are playing their part in the show. Listen, they're deep state all the way. They are putting their pawns out there. And I'm not saying that. I listen to Hannity. I listen to Laura Ingraham. Tucker, kind of like them, but not sold on them. But they're going to let some people get out there, because in the event, and when the event comes, that this all comes crashing down, they still need to have something reputable that will control the narrative. And I say, fuck that. And the world knew this before we did. They've known forever. I heard forever, if you want the real news about what's going on in America, read a paper from Europe about America. Because we get hamstrung. We were sold a bill of goods based under the flag of American pride and democracy, when really all they were doing is selling us out. And you know this. So don't buy into this hype. Don't buy into the fear. No fear here. Nope. Be on high alert coming into December. Know that there are things that are going to be disclosed, or I should say undisclosed, and brought to public opinion. And when that happens, they're going to be louder than ever. That being the deep state, the left. There may be French fries, and probably will be, on a mass scale. What happened today? They've got all the immigrants, not all of them, but a big chunk of them, rushing the border. Why is it that we're able to watch all of this online and know that this is happening? Why? Because they want us to see that. Do you know that I saw a lot of women and children in these shots today of people rushing the border? Well, they put them front and center. The ones that are actually on the caravan, they put them front and center and put them into the screenshots. That's the 4 a.m. talking point for tomorrow morning, you guys. You're not going to be able to wake up tomorrow morning and not hear 100% about the migrant caravan. And you're going to see all these pictures of these women and children. But the reality is that 90+% of them are men in their late teens and 20s that are fighting age, and many criminals. We're being played. They think you're stupid, which you're not. None of us are. But the reason that that's happening is because the D-class of the FISA documents, which are going to prove that there was no collusion, and not only that, that it was a setup on a treasonous, seditious level, which when found guilty, you will die, because you'll be hung by the neck until dead, is going to start being released. probably December 5th. So the news cycle has to try to change the perception within America, as they always have. And we need to stay on point. We need to stay focused of what's coming up. One of the major things that Q said, and basically reiterated some of the things that I was saying just now, but one piece I will leave you with is that Q said, be extremely vigilant in December. See something, say something. And then in all caps, extreme panic in DC. Where we go one, we go all. Q. But extreme panic. But it says, see something, say something. Yeah, that's pretty good advice. It's great advice. It's the best advice. Are people going to die that are good people because of the deep state, because of the corner they're backed in? I don't want to say yes, but maybe. Absolutely could be. So when Q says, be extremely vigilant in December, see something, say something, look out for yourself, look out for your human counterpart, your fellow human. Look out for each other. This is the way that when all of this is done and the dust settles and the deep state is no more, it will return to a world of people that will be looking out for each other and can count on each other. That's what this whole thing is getting at. This is what's being done. This is why it's being rooted out globally. And listen, this plan may have another 4 or 5 years before it's complete, like this military operation. But I would say that when the FISA document goes and we start seeing it, it's going to be the marker for us to go, you know what? We were right. We were right. And it will give us something to put a foothold into and know that for those of you that are on the fence, it will let us know that we are on the right side of history going forward and that this plan is a reality. There's no reason for Trump and the Q team to be pulling all of this bad publicity and press out against the true deep state cabal players. There's no reason for it. If the whole plan was to hoax everybody in the world in America, you wouldn't even address this. You'd drag this stuff out against Hillary for the next 8 years. And the reality is that we know so much more than we should. And yes, there is some code of ethics within the deep state that says before you do something to the goyim or sheeple, that you have to inform them of what you're doing. Well, I'm sorry. Everything that Q has exposed has gone way well above and beyond whatever that rule is that the deep state has. Let's just take it off the table. There's no way that that's why we're being told what we're being told. We're being told this because there's evil, true evil, at play in the world. And there was a true mission for world domination of a one world power. And there were great patriots within the United States government that said, not on my watch. You're not doing it. That's why Trump ran when he ran and how he ran. And that's why he's the bull in the china shop, that he is playing his part. And he'll do it for another 6 years if that's what it takes. If this can all be wrapped up and done in the next year and a half or 2 years, so be it. But he's prepared to go 6 more years if that's what it takes. Fortunately, the deep state keeps shooting off their big toe with a loaded pistol. Because as Q stated, these people are stupid. And by stupid, I don't mean dumb. They're just arrogant and ignorant. And that, in large part, will be the cause of their downfall. They thought they had the election in the bag. They didn't think any of the things that are being uncovered and shown to us through Q drops would ever be an issue, because the wicked witch, Hillary, would be running the show. And would they sacrifice a few pawns? Why not? They've done it a million times. They could care less about one or two people unless it stands in the way of the fascist deep state agenda. So don't worry, you guys. Don't listen. Listen if you want to, but don't take to heart all of these fear-mongering tactics that make you question everything. I call bullshit. On many, many channels, I call bullshit. And you know what? Maybe that's my Achilles. I don't know. I could be wrong. I tend to have a really good nose for what the truth is. And it's not by watching one video. It's because I watch so many videos and listen to so many different things that if I told you how much I listen to, and you could categorize that as research, but if I'm stacking up truth videos against other videos where maybe I would say their motives are morally in question for some reason, I think you come out with a good outtake. And I think it leads you to the correct path. And it's a path of purpose and accountability. And you don't wrap yourself up and be so absolutely afraid where you don't know what else to believe. I don't submit. I don't subscribe to that type of journalism, which I'm seeing very rampant through the YouTube community. I'm seeing it. I trust the plan. I'll have to watch that. Did SGT put out a new report tonight, brother? I like Sean from SGT. Would I mind a third term for POTUS? I would. I think it goes against our democracy, our republic. I think it goes against the Constitution. I think it's important that we have somebody to come in 2024 that will pick up the torch. I think it's very important that we limit this to 2 terms and not go beyond that. And I don't think we'll need to go beyond a second term for POTUS. I think once we rid the deep state, the important part will be that once we rid the deep state of this and we move forward. Oh, Jess, good to see you. It's great to see you. I think we will return to the republic, Robert, before we need to ever consider Trump for a third term. And even if we, the people, said, damn it, we want you to run for a third term, he'd be like, no, I'm not doing it. I don't think he'd do it. And I think by that time we will have many good candidates that I don't think everybody in Congress and in the House are screwy. I think there are a lot of great people that love this country and are serving within our government. I mean, keep in mind, yeah, we'll probably lose a third of government when this all goes down, but that's a third. That means 2/3 is probably okay, and definitely means that a third are like okay. So I just don't think we'll need it. No, I don't know. Some people think that JFK Jr. is still alive. Maybe. And if he popped his head out, in the next year to blow the lid off all this. Sorry, yawning. It's late. I'm thinking about going to bed. But if he popped his head out and he actually is alive and is responsible for this, I still think Trump runs for the 2020. As this all unfolds and people wrap their freaking heads around the fact that the dude's still alive, then I think you could see a JFK Jr. run in 2024, which in a lot of ways would make sense if that's was part of the plan. JFK did vow that he would uncover the killers of his father, even if it meant taking down the entire government. And to me, I mean, if he were alive, would it be the most beautiful story ever told? Unquestionable. There's not even another story that could ever touch that storyline ever again in the history of mankind, or at least not for the next 200 or 300 years that could ever touch that storyline. If JFK Jr. pops up in the next few months and says, I told you I'd take down the deep state, and I told you I'd take down the government if it meant uncovering who killed my father. We know it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald. We know that. I mean, I think we do, right? I think it's pretty safe to know that that was an inside hit. Period. As Joe Biden would say. Period. Period. We know that was an inside hit. Absolutely, that was an inside hit. I don't know. All right. All right. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. There's 2 Q posts that dropped tonight. The last one to drop was on the 20th, 6 days ago. Q says, everything stated has a purpose. Think timing of the tweet above, which is the tweet that says, nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing. The election will not. I gotta make it bigger. Sorry. The election will not be about fixing the economy, trade, borders, military, or protecting the children. All to another. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Just messed up. At any rate, not about fixing the economy, trade, borders, military, protecting the children. Also, another corrupt politician or insider can simply undo it, like Trump's 4-year campaign is a band-aid. So it's not about that. This was not simply another 4-year election, but a crossroads in history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. Panic in DC. It's big, guys. Oh, sorry. Told you I don't feel great. I'm kind of tired. No, this would be great if this thing would just. There we go. So it said everything stated has a purpose. Think timing of the tweet versus the last drops regarding Maggie from the New York Times, regarding WikiLeaks, Maggie drops regarding WikiLeaks attack regarding Q. I don't know if you read that, but she decided to hammer on the people and say that. Attention people in the train, whatever, the communication system is not for asking questions. She was making fun of Q followers, so you know what? She can suck it. She's deep state anyway. Doesn't matter. She works for the New York Times. She's a yeah. So everything stated has purpose. And then Jerome Corsi, his attempt to infiltrate Q was a failed attempt. But Mueller went after Corsi, and Corsi struck a plea deal. And Q says there are bad people who pretend to be good. That's a direct slam on Corsi and others, but directly on Corsi. Reread the drops regarding the warnings. Those most who left the White House did not have a choice. So they got fired. Fake news. Never forget fake news. Fake MAGA. So these were people that left the White House that were fake Make America Great Again people. They're not on board. Transparency is the only way. Patriots United. Q. And that is, wait a minute, there's another Q drop. Jesus. All right. Let me wake up. There's 2 more Q drops. Jesus. I was looking forward to winding this down and going to bed. Hi, Daisy. Hi. You want to say hi? Come here. Okay, go lay down. Go. Go lay down. All right. Executive Order number 13526, Section 1.7, Classification Prohibitions and Limitations. A, in no case shall information be classified, continued to be maintained as classified, or fail to be declassified in order to, number 1, conceal violence of law, inefficiency, or administrative error. 2, prevent embarrassment to a person, organization, or agency. 3, restrain competition, or number 4, prevent or delay the release of information that does not require protection in the interest of national security. Which immediately leads us to Whitaker, who is the acting attorney general. And in regards to Whitaker, and in conjunction with the OIG, which is the investigative approved the release. Here's big. In conjunction with OIG, approved the release of classified docs 1 through 4 as requested by the House Committee and as ordered by the President of the United States. So that's the FISA court release documents. They're coming out, you guys. Will the release occur prior to the scheduled testimony? Must be talking about the scheduled testimony on December 5th of Comey and IG Horowitz. And I think they're even pulling Hillary in. So it's saying that if the FISA documents are released before December 5th, will it Will the release occur prior to the scheduled testimony? In other words, if the FISA documents are released before they give their testimony on the 5th of December, would that make a difference in how they testify? Q says, list the advantages of releasing those before that. Well, the advantages would be that they would be held to a perjury charge if they sway off the reason that they're bringing in the main players for why the FISA documents were signed. So they're going to incriminate themselves, is what it's saying. They're going to either incriminate themselves or they'll lie and be held in a perjury trap. It's genius. It's absolutely genius. So Q says, list the advantages. Well, that's the advantages. Will the release occur post scheduled testimony? List the advantages. So Q, and if they are, it's genius, you guys. If they release the FISA documents after their sworn testimony, it's a perjury trap. Their backs are against the wall. They've got nowhere else to go. Game, set, match is coming up. They can release them before they testify. They can release them after they testify. Bottom line is that they can't tell the truth, or they perjure, or they incriminate themselves because they are part of the issue, part of the problem. So they can't do it. So I think Q is saying that they'll release the FISA docs prior if they need to, or they'll wait and release them right after if they have to. If those testifying know that the select classification documents, known as FISA, will become public, self-incrimination. There you go. They will incriminate themselves, especially if they know that they're going to be released before they get up on Capitol Hill and have to give their sworn testimony. How might that alter or change their testimony? DC has become rat infested. Executive Order 13526, Section 1, and I read all that to you. Classification prohibitions and limitations. A, in no class shall information be classified, continue to be maintained as classified, or fail to be classified in order to, 1, conceal violations of law, inefficiency, or administrative error. Blah, 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 blah. Does the UK stand with the US or only select divisions within the US? Does Australia stand with the US or only select divisions within the US? Will immediate action be publicly taken within each country to reunify the bond that was once held prior to? I don't know what it's saying after that, but I think it's safe to say that the UK, when you're talking about the blue collar people of the UK that want to be part of Brexit, they're the ones that say that they love Trump and they are behind this. And it's probably the exact same in Australia and the other Five Eyes. And the final drop from Q: border security equals national security. That we know. There was a run on the border tonight. Trump shut the whole thing down. I mean, he ain't no dummy. FY, and maybe that's for your information, but FY, 2019 defense spending bill, budget overview, budget reconciliation. What if the House fails prior to majority change? That's interesting. It's talking about the House of Representatives and the recent election. What if the House fails prior to the majority of them taking over the House of Representatives, which is what the November 6 elections showed, is that they now have a House majority. But what if all of the voting fraud shows that they don't, and it fails prior to January 1st, because that's when the change happens. What vested authority does the Constitution grant a sitting president regarding matters of national security? Thank you, Mr. Soros. All I can say is that whatever the vested authority does, that the Constitution grants a sitting president as a matter of national security, must be as a result of something that Mr. George Scrotum Face Soros put his ass behind and made it so. And now it's going to backfire in his face. So that's what's going on. That's what's happening. And that's the last Q drop. And with that, I am going to bed. Good to see you all. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving weekend. I'll come on soon. Didn't expect to get these last couple Q drops here later like this. So, but it is what it is. I hadn't read them. Looks like they've been out for a few hours, but I only knew the first three, and these last two followed up. But other than that, I hope you guys are well. I hope you had a great time with your families and your loved ones. And don't forget to pray. Prayer is good. Pray for each other. Pray for our country. Pray for a hedge of protection around the president at all times and his family. And as tired as we all are waiting for this to happen, just know that it is going to happen. No fear. Do not live in fear. Do not listen to these maniacs that entertain this bourgeois, ulterior format of the truth. It's just rely on the 4 inches between your ears to do your thinking and your own discernment, and you won't get wrapped up into the game of fear. Man, don't do it. Trust the plan. I love it, Joe Mama. It's gonna help you, sweetie. I love it. I swear to God, I love it. And I love you guys. So you guys have a phenomenal night, and I will see you when I see you. With that, Bellman Show. Oh.